Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's What's Driving Token Prices. I'm Katie Talati, Director of Research at Arca. In my role here, I'm responsible for analyzing digital asset and blockchain opportunities for Arca hedge funds. As part of our research, my team and I examine token prices and the market events that act as catalysts for price shifts. Based on our research and market events over the past week, we wanted to share with you some notable token price movements and what we think drove them. Before we get started, guys, just always a general reminder, this is commentary. It's not intended to be investment advice, investment research, or a recommendation. Please consult your investment professional for your own circumstances. All right, guys, let's get started with this week. So first up, we have SUSHI. So SUSHI is the decentralized exchange that's got multi-chain that has been issued on different chains. But this week, SushiSwap released a restructuring proposal to lay out the team and business moving forward. So specifically in the proposal, they defined salaries, they established a compensation committee, and allocated resources toward the future executive search for a new CEO. So far, this proposal has a lot of broad support across the community. This is super important for SushiSwap. They've unfortunately struggled since since 0xMaki, the anonymous CEO, stepped away from the project last year. And since then have really, needed to have a strong leader behind it, but also great incentives for their team members. Definitely find this important. They're a very important piece of infrastructure to the ecosystem since they are deployed across so many different layer one blockchains. So that proposal will hopefully go to a vote soon and be implemented, meaning that SushiSwap can progress forward and hit some of their roadmap goals for the rest of this year. Despite this positive news, SushiSwap is down 11% week over week. Next up, we have Bitcoin. And yes, I never talk about Bitcoin here, but there are some important things happening, which I thought were really worth mentioning. So for those of you that missed it, yesterday, Fidelity announced that they would actually allow 401k retirement accounts to purchase Bitcoin, subject to employer's approval. So individuals are going to be able to invest up to 20% of their portfolio in Bitcoin under this provision. And a lot of people really think that this could potentially open up a sizable swath of new capital to invest in Bitcoin. I was surprised that the market didn't react at all favorably to this because this is a really big catalyst for Bitcoin. This is why a lot of individuals keep saying, "Oh, we need a Bitcoin ETF," because at present, most large retirement accounts won't allow you to invest in Bitcoin through an exchange or any of the traditional means, and so you kind of have to do it through some sort of registered security product. So this is really exciting that Fidelity's offering this. It also potentially is a signal to other institutional distributors and allocators that there's appetite for this and that they're going to need to start offering these types of products as well. Despite this very positive news, Bitcoin is down 5% for the week. One other thing to note also is that, although they announced that they would be doing this, it's not actually in effect yet. And it is an employer by employer decision to allow Bitcoin to be purchased in retirement accounts. So while I think it's overall very positive, this might be something that we don't feel the impacts of for, say, 6 to 12 months or even longer. All right, here we go. We have Tron up, or TRX. So Tron is a layer one blockchain created by Justin Sun, who, if you maybe didn't see in the media, he actually bought the Warren Buffett auction lunch. I think it was 2 years ago now. So he could educate Warren Buffett on digital assets. So Tron actually announced last week that it would launch an algo stablecoin, very similar in design to Terra's UST stablecoin. And to start, USDD, their new stablecoin, is going to aim to have a 30% risk-free rate. For comparison, Terra has 20% risk-free rate on USD. And they're going to be offering this by raising a yield reserve of 10 billion. So a very ambitious move by Tron. Near Protocol also, I believe I talked about it maybe last week or the week before, they also issued a stablecoin and offering really competitive yields on it. So it seems that the algorithmic stablecoin war is off to a start. Even with this news, Tron is basically ended the week flat, up 0.7%. All right, last but not least, we have Apecoin. So Apecoin we haven't talked about here before. It was the token that was issued as part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. So for those who aren't familiar, Bored Ape Yacht Club, or BAYC, is a blue chip, what's considered a blue chip NFT project of mostly profile pictures. So you can Google them. They're these like very odd looking apes. They also have an offshoot called Bored Ape Mutants that look a little scarier. And so they're an NFT project. They've been around for a few years. They've been very successful. And they recently decided to kind of create more of an ecosystem around the NFT assets that they issued. And so they also issued a token called Apecoin. So Apecoin was issued, I think, a month or two ago. And actually, it ended up soaring just in this last week, up as much as 20%, based on the announcement of Otherside, which is going to be the land sale for their metaverse, and starting on Saturday. So really interesting to watch. We think this will potentially be a blueprint for other NFT projects to follow, issuing a token and then issuing land, and getting a lot of users involved. So definitely one to watch as they roll out kind of new initiatives on their end. All right, guys. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed our insights. Tune in here again next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear what's driving token prices.